The statutory rape of Namibian children, girls in particular, is just disgusting. Kanti, what is wrong with men? Are we going to keep on perpetuating generational poverty in the name of lust forever? No, man. Chencha daideng. Newspaper reports indicate that in the 3 short months of lockdown, 3,300 little girls were impregnated, kids who were quarantined in their homes. I spoke to activist Rosa Namises about this.
I think there is a very, very serious sexual abuse against our young children. We are losing the future generation of women that will grow up with a sound mind, with a career, and also with an opportunity. We are losing them. How we are losing it, it's very shocking to hear 3,500 from March to July. Our lockdown was lifted in September. The issue of 3,300 girls being impregnated is very scary. But in that impregnation, we cannot clearly assume that it is relationships and therefore it is a safe relation. We are thinking of sexual harassment, rape, and sexual molestation. We are also worried about impregnation by biological fathers and also impregnation by elderly men. We see that the sexual exploitation that our children are experiencing, and the concern here is underage girls. And that's why I said we are impregnating children that are not ready to engage in sexual activity, and we are diverting our children. If this is happening, we are creating a possibility for them to go into prostitution, a possibility for them to become promiscuous, and a high risk of a health condition. We are talking about FIFIFs, where the fistulas are affected. We are talking about mothers that can again abandon their children, which creates and reintroduces the cycle of neglected children. We are also talking about mothers that would sit unemployed and again create a ground for violence. So I am worried about that. And as a result, I think what should be done now that they are existing, that's the first safety net we need to create. They exist now, they are 3,000 in a number, 3,000 something, and we need to protect them. We need to help them to become aware of where they are. The first is, if possible, to return to school and to make a possibility of knowledge improvement, but also a possibility of a career. Because I believe that they are not really yet children that don't know what's happening. They know that they can learn and they can fly the sky. I think that is what we need to do. And as a result, the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health should work together and ensure that we identify these children. And here I also call the civil society organizations, the women's movement, so that we together can bring these children in contact with all our supportive organizations. And then after that, I think there is an important task for the life skill teachers, for counseling, and also for reorientation, so that the children can be able to understand what is happening with them, but at the same time be able to cope with the situation. The other thing what social services needs to do is to bring out the family members, either aunts or mothers or fathers who live with these children, so that we can be given an opportunity to become aware of what is unfolding and be able to bring a supportive environment. Because it's important that the children, the girls are supported. The last is we cannot let go of our men. All the fathers who have impregnated these 3,000 are somewhere out there. Case by case, I know it's a mammoth task, but if we can, let us capture the fathers.
Wavehe Chituka is just 20 years old and she will be having a corona baby. She is the second of 4 children and had to drop out of school 2 years ago due to financial constraints.
It was just like a nightmare because it was like my grandmother argued with her daughter and then all of a sudden things changed at home, and the next day it was like you should not go fetch water and I won't give you electricity. It was just something like that. Yes, I did not have something to do to keep me busy. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, but then it's now for me to like it's just something that came like that, so I really don't have much to say about it. I need the gas like to boil water, and I need access to water and access to cook food for me. In order for me to breastfeed, I need to eat. I need the gas, and yeah, I think a solar panel for the baby's milk or something, and water to wash the baby and my clothes. I was thinking of going back to school next year, but then unfortunately my mom don't have money to take me back to school, so I don't know what next. Like I was thinking of looking for a job next year after giving birth, after the 6 months of breastfeeding, so that I can get a job in order for me to go back to school. Maybe now it's just to abstain. Like it was just something that came just like that, so let me say it won't happen again, like not to give much problems to my mom and all that. Like if they are in this condition, like there was a time where I wanted to abort the child, but then I also thought of my mom that it might be that in the process I die, and I also give my mom the problem for the funeral and all that. So I decided to keep it, so they should also keep it, because God does not give a problem that won't be solved. So they should just keep it, but let it not be like a routine for them to keep it all over like that if you are facing a problem like mine. Not all of us are given a chance to carry someone in our womb, so it's really great for when you go to the hospital. You hear that you are fine, you are okay, because there's a lot of women dreaming to have a child, but then they can't, and which is a God gift thing.
Nono Chituka will be the grandmother to Wavehe's corona baby. She laments the fact that she also has personal issues within the family and that has seen them in a dispute about water usage at the house. Her sister has disconnected her access to water, and she's unemployed with 4 children and 2 grandchildren to fend for.
Amami Nono Chituka. Karovo omunimbe beshika koresa tikuna mama wanje munene. Sha ngunda hiata osimbe amunomwi eke kushikamba kuna mama wanje mbopia mama wanje muni wenjikwata. Himba lambo esekame kakaki atate wanje. Himba kalaki atate wanje eke kukapo hiramba ponjonjo ngirinenji. Himba lambo mama wanje shavi simba muni mariwa hipaho bimariwa ambitono kapereke. Oshoke kutono kapereke ogomburandumba kapone made kumupyo. Okusha mokuheno kukano meva ogombura dumade kuhambo ndatu nukuheno meva nukuheno rusheno baposa kuna mama wanje uriri ogusho kunjipato bina bihembi mukuhena kuduba sana enjipato meva enjipato rusheno ogusho bompura ntumbakara si ungura pukandukira o kandukira tu njonganga mayo aitu okudana yo kutani obompura ntumadhi kuinendano osha hino biungura bihupamo bikuria harambe osha upe o bikuria harambe via rumwe mumwede osha chingwa gumbo utokusula ndino ndio akanyingiro kana mbena njipewa ka ushimbi na iye siri oshimbi haine ni uriri ekano ana sho skole omahingwina omashingwari no mbango no skole ngo mukadona akano amungu shabinti no ndi katuno rusheno mafo kuri hongo nguroba makashanga katuno rusheno osha rumwe munekeshe ekeshe randa po upatrimbo bashina wanda obekona kene no kukaranduri nambi osha mundungo osha kaenda na uriri andripo hambo ndatuye eyo munishimo pura amashabi amisimba munu o shandai shikwa buhingi yaruke concrete naina amimiaruka ari concrete na amashabi sha munonda munu mashabi memo baterenga aruke concrete na maruka amihaine nena ndaengo kukafuto bimarwa yo hinoshima riba uri ngo kufuto ushandae makasha ngo bafaka pehi opo kukapehi omburanjo shatoriro utumba katuno shina uriri shiri eo munio sivi waroro kianja ke aroro kutoneno ngote ke aroro kushitabi uyo shituro anumputu sekela binona sho mashubari noho oja bikonja na hinoshina uriri amu mndiri uri ngume hepo mbatero nushiri ke komunyo amukuru ndao kunjivatera kushono minambo po tuherepo bikwai.
I made numerous attempts to contact Gender Equality and Child Welfare Minister Doreen Sioka to see what interventions government could implement, and she was just not available to me. She did, however, address the nation at the launch of the 16 Days of Activism Against GBV and called for those who withdraw cases of GBV with the police to be arrested. Jehovah! Recently, youth protesting the scourge of GBV in the country called for her resignation, and I can see why. Activists Rosa Namises, Vilma Garises, and Salfina Tsovases also shared their views on the minister's words.
Was daar, toe minister gepraat het, en die story klink glad nie mooi nie. Die tyd wat jy in abuse is of so, of jou man aangekla het of jou boyfriend, en jy het vir hom gaan aangekla, die sak, dan gaan trek jy weer die sak terug, jy is nie normaal nie. Die tyd is jy glad nie normaal nie. En dit sal net die hele story vererger. Dit sal glad nie werk nie, om weer vir die vrouwens toe te sluit. Regtig is nie goed nie, met dit stem ek glad nie saam nie. Want hoe voel ek is nie normaal nie. Die tyd wat ek gaan teruggetrek het, regtig, die storie, dit werk nie uit nie. Jy is nie normaal nie, nou word jy nog in iets ingevos wat jy nie kan hanteer nie.
Geet is glad nie reg nie. Ons weg vir vrede bly. Ons weg nie om in angst te bly nie. As ek met die probleem by die polisie kom, dan kom ek om gehelp te word, dat die oomblik in 'n bewaring kan bly. Ek gaan geen my probleem en dan word ek nog bang gemaak by die huis opgetrek van regering, omdat die sak gaan terugtrek. Die tyd wat ek gaan klaar, word ek gesluit en wat van die kinders by dies. Die 250 is al 'n probleem vir my kind. Dit behoort aan klein kinders. 'n Kind kom in stand 7, daar is glad nie 'n toiletware vir 750 nie. Die skoolfonds moet gebetaal, die skooldrag moet gekoop word, kind moet leer, die boeke goed is nodig, en dit gee nie om vir die regering nie. Dan word dit nog meer erger. Wat minister gister gesê het.
My dear friend minister, this time we have again put our ladies in trouble. This time we have now further made the gap bigger of secrecy, of silence, we have now further lost possible case states, case information. We have lost a possible women that we could save with that statement. I don't know how you can correct it, but I think we have to correct it. We as the civil society, again, you have given us more task to talk and recorrect and educate and re-inform our women. Again, there is a right. You just don't get arrested. If you give false information, you are arrested, I think. But if you withdraw the case, the courts and the law can take it further, and you become the witness. So maybe that's how we can correct your statement. I hope that we will not do that damage to our women. Don't be afraid of the statement that the minister has made. Let us think deeper about that. Please continue to report the abuse, the rape, the beatings, and concealing of murders. Don't stop reporting. And if there is pressure for you to withdraw the case, please seek counseling, seek advice, instead of being silent and resorting to either suicide, alcohol, and drugs. Don't do that.
The It's a Wrap team asked some UNAM students for their comments on the 3,300 schoolgirls impregnated during lockdown. Here's what they had to say.
3,300. That is quite a shock, because stats show that the majority of the kids were impregnated by people that are close to them, be it relatives or family friends. And a home is a place where kids are supposed to be kept safe. So even though the government tries with the contraceptives and stuff of the sort, it won't really work because these people are impregnated at home.
So I think maybe the elders must nurture their children to guide them on how to handle with boys.
Regarding that, that's just the number of learners that were recorded and not the actual numbers of learners that were pregnant. And I feel like it has to do with the lack of contraceptives that happened during the lockdown process. And yeah, it's a downfall in their education, as they have to go to take a year down to take care of their kids and fall behind with their education.
Most of their future is really cut short by that. Most of them will not be able to go back to school again, so it's really bad.
It's not the end of the world for them. It's practically just, it's a setback, yes, but they can still recover from it. I mean, I've seen people that got pregnant at a very young age, but then still recovered from it and still moved on with their lives and still fought through this discrimination and everything, because they're gonna be discriminated by the fellow kids. But they should be strong, they should look forward and just aim high, man.
And with that, it's a wrap. Stay woke with It's a Wrap by following us on our social media pages. It's a Wrap Nam on Insta, It's a Wrap Namibia on YouTube, and It's a Wrap with Erica Gebhardt on Facebook. It's a Wrap premieres on Sunday nights at 7:30 on One Africa TV, where it just gets better.